Hey folks, Rob here with another Rob Plays, and this week you can certainly recognise what's on screen because to celebrate having a new Star Wars movie out, I decided to take a look at the whole trilogy on the C64. So to start with, we've obviously got the original Star Wars, and I will hit fire and bring it up. So of course this was brought into the arcades by Atari in 1983, and this conversion was handled by Vektor Grafix and published. Yes, you can get the pun for that. And published by Domark in 1988, at least that's what my sources say. And of course the goal is pretty simple, you know, as Luke you're piloting your X-Wing through the climactic Death Star battle, and you need to pretty much go through the multiple phases of the battle. Now, I know I should probably talk about the fact that there's a second conversion of this. Parker Brothers originally did a simpler version of the game named in 1984, but I've never really played it. I don't have the copy of the cart, and yeah, as I said, I've never actually played it, so I can't really talk about it or sit through it. But it exists, it's supposed to be okay, but it's drastically simpler than this, but it's all sprites, and so it's a little faster to play. But anyway, this first phase has you battling... Ooh, I swear. This first phase has you battling TIE fighters on approach to Death Star. They've changed it up for difficulty. In particular, you can see Darth Vader's TIE fighter is appearing here, which doesn't appear until a bit later in the actual arcade machine because they've got a bit more power. And the fighters also throw more fireballs at you. They ramp up a lot sooner, and that's just, obviously, they're limited by the C64's hardware power, and you know the C64 isn't good at handling these kind of games, and they've actually done a good job. So I think it works. I mean, I can play this about as well as I can play the arcade game. In fact, my first pass when I was recording this and messed up actually did really well. That was the high score you saw. So, done the first phase, and now of course we hit the trench run as the second phase, at least for wave 1. On later waves, of course, there's the ground phase. But we're now doing the trench run, and where our goal really is to try and do it without shooting, because then you get the force bonus. And, you know, you don't even, unless you played the arcade game, you actually wouldn't know about that because there's no clue or anything. Which I guess makes it more awesome when you pull it off. But, you know, in the original arcade game, you've got the speech clip telling you to do that. You can sort of go, oh. And I think that's what I really miss here is just no music, no speech, and it just makes the experience a little lifeless by comparison. But we've got this in the bag. You can see we've got the force bonus, proton torpedoes are launched, and boom, goes the Death Star for the first time. You see, like, there's no music, and just a lot of that personality is there. Isn't there, I should say. And that's sort of where my big complaints is. I mean, the difficulty is pretty good. The frame rate is about as good as you're going to get on the C64. I don't know if they had the room to optimize, you know, a lot of the common tricks for optimizing 3, like data lookup tables or whatever. I don't know what other tricks they could have done. I mean, I'm not enough. My coding skills aren't anywhere near specialized enough to do 3D on an 8-bit micro, so I couldn't tell you what tricks they were doing. I honestly feel that blasts coming from the far left just seem to be much harder to hit. And the other bugbear I have is that just the lag in your shooting, like especially when things get a bit heavier, you can sort of see that the lasers aren't shooting to where my crosshair is, they're sort of shooting to where it was. And that gets really fiddly, especially on the surface stages. We'll hopefully see soon. Come on, come on. Blast all the fireballs. I can see it bogged down just by so many fireballs. I mean, you've got to balance, unfortunately that's game design, you've got to balance that from like how many can you throw on screen at once without getting bogged down to how many can you throw up for a good challenge. And the low resolution doesn't help. Yeah, it's one of those things that the Vektor coin-ups are just so beautiful in their appearance because they run at such a high resolution. Alright, Now we're on the ground phase. And this is pretty easy for this first pass, because you've just got the ground turrets to shoot at you. No towers. Come on. But I've taken a lot more hits than I would have liked here. Okay, let's go through. Yeah, I mean, the ramp up is okay for difficulty. Come on. Yes. Yes. The ramp up, because they don't introduce this stage immediately. They keep it simple now with just having the ground turrets, and then they add the towers next. And I kind of like that from a design point of view. Because you've only got this limited set of stages, especially compared to a lot of other arcade games of the era. Come on. Come on, baby, hold together. Alright. Oh. I got excited for a moment there, I thought we were through these. Now we are. Okay. Let's do the trench. We're going in full throttle. But I have to admit, the trench run is actually pretty fast. Look at it, it's actually scrolling along at a good clip. It reminds me, Zap had a movie render. It's the only time I ever read a review of it. And they were pretty heavy on slagging it, and I kind of don't think that's right. Apparently the original views were much fairer, 70-odd%. Sounds about right to me. It's a good conversion that is limited. And being a fairly early arcade game, it's a bit shallow. And by this point, I always wonder what was the impetus to do another conversion, especially in 1987, 1988, because... Alright. Yeah, I always wonder about that because... Yeah, it just felt odd to be converting such an old arcade game over. But anyway, level 3, or wave 3, see how we do this time. Okay. Yeah, I really this would be one of those ones I love to see on the Turbo Chameleon. The reason I want a Turbo Chameleon one day. But it'd be cool to have a... Yeah, see, there's that thing where I swear that the fireballs on the far left can't be hit, which is an annoying bug. Alright, come on, don't bog down completely. Alright. Stay on target. Stay on target. I kind of wish, I have to admit, I kind of wish, come on, that they chose to use the high-res mode. They chose the high-res mode instead of the multicolour mode. I don't know, maybe you would have had colour clash. The C64's bitmap mode operates on a similar method to the Spectrums in high-res, so you can probably get colour clash, but part of me wonders how it would look if we're in high-res. Just if it looked that little bit crisper. Oh, no, I'm doing terribly. I'm very disappointed because I did really well the last time. Okay. Now, of course, we've got to do the towers, and the towers is all about shooting those little white tops of them off. Which, exponential score, and come on, don't crash. And this is really where the game's performance suffers. You can see it just chugging quite a bit, especially because you've got a lot more of these objects and you've got to be very precise where you hit them on such a small target area. You've got all the fireballs coming at you, you've got everything else. See, 7 towers to go, and I'm probably going to hit that one. I really hate this stage here. I've been able to do it once before, As I said, this was a take 3, if you will. And take 2 was actually I did really well at, and then I messed up. See, that's the thing, it's really frustrating for the firing, because sometimes it just takes so long to hit, you don't have enough time to pull away. 2. Come on. 1. Okay. 0. Yes, we shot all the towers. Cleared all the towers, that gives me extra 50k. Just keep hammering those ground things. Hopefully it won't be too long till the end of the stage because I've got no shields. Okay. Let's at least do this. I feel like I'm gripping the joystick real tight. It's sort of like my tension. Alright. You can see now the catwalks make this so much more deadly. So we're going in full throttle. And we just got to do what we can. The famous cheat where you can just hide in the bottom right corner doesn't work out so well at this point. And the joystick's a little too responsive, which becomes quite a challenge. But the targeting computer says we're all good. Stay on target. Getting close now because they've stopped the catwalks. We'll see there's... Yep. Yes. Yes. But my shield is... I don't think I'm going to survive the TIE Fighter battle in Wave 4, but hey. That's okay. Add 1 to deflect the shields. It's admirable to do this conversion. I think it's a pretty solid game to play, but it's not the classic the arcade machine is. Okay. Come on. Stay on target. Hold together. We're not approaching yet. Alright. Sorry for the quietness, I'm just gripped by tension at the moment. Yes, yes! Just what that moment of quiet was like. Oh, I've succeeded. Okay, come on. New tie. Oh, it was close. I thought I was done for. Okay. Alright, well, I actually didn't think I'd make it here. But what do you know? Now this is where I'm gonna be trashed, because I'm not even gonna try and go for the towers because I will be wrecked otherwise. Just gonna keep trying to just avoid them and clear out what I can. Clear out the fireballs. Because of course by this stage the amount of towers you have to destroy goes up. And that requires you know, you need to have the Force if you're going to try and do this. Come on. Yes. And as much as I like to believe, I do not have the Force. Come on, come on. Stay on target. Hold together. Red 5. But you can sort of see how fiddly it's getting to take out these towers now. Yeah, I knew it was going to happen at some point. I've got to be careful because I'm going to collide into another one. And I don't think I have enough shields. Okay, 4 towers. Why did I read that? Now I'm going to be jinxed. 3, 2, 1, 2, 1. Can I do it? Can I do it? Can I do it? Can I? Yes! Took out all the towers. I didn't think I was going to survive. I think I'm officially doing better at this run than my last one. Ah! Alright, now we're onto the trench. This is getting... And now I really do feel like I'm Luke. Because I've got one shield doing the trench. And I jinxed it. Alright. The sensitive joystick really is a problem when you're entering your name. You can sort of see how tight it is to get the right letter. But there we go. That's enough of Star Wars. I'm going to boot up The Empire Strikes Back and we'll see how that compares. And here we are, The Empire Strikes Back. Press a key and dive in. And then of course go off something a little more close to the original machine. And we got the music again. So Empire Strikes Back was brought out to the arcades in 1985. Yeah, actually a third of the Star Wars arcade games released. The big difference is that it was pilot controls by default, thank you. It was brought out as an upgrade to the original Star Wars machine, which means that it's actually really hard to find a real cabinet of, alas. Anyway, so the original Star Wars focused on one scene across its three phases. Empire Strikes Back is split across two scenes. We're in this first phase, we are now dealing with the Imperial attack on Echo Base. And these are of course Imperial probe droids which we need to blast before they reveal the location of Echo Base. So, now we've done the main objective. Okay, so the idea is, those little three arc things are basically transmitters. You shoot those before they reveal the picture. Turns out I lost and did that. But at the same time, you shoot a certain number of them and you'll get a Jedi letter. So now, we're on to phase 2, which is where the Imperial Walkers attack. Come on, let me get that, damn it. Oh. Alright. So now we're doing the second phase where the Walkers themselves are attacking. So here we are for very chunkily rendered AT-AT. They're only vulnerable to the front, or you can give them a whirl with some tow cables, which is the best way to do it, of course. And there's an AT-ST, and we've got the Jedi letters. Now the Jedi letters are sort of earned for doing objectives. So in this case, blast enough walkers, blast enough probe droids in the first phase, and if you get all 4, so there's one for each phase, you get all of them, you actually get invulnerability. So, arg. Can't get that AT-ST. You're against the clock here, which is what that little bar up under the shields represents. It sort of represents you have to basically keep blasting walkers before, and when that gets all the way to the right, the rebel Echo Base has been defeated. But now we're just blasting AT-STs, which is kind of easy. Again, we've just got to aim for the head. Tow cables are useless on them, and they never even had much of it in the movie. I like they've got the, quotes there. The shield doors must be closed. Come on. Walker, yeah. Probably. Joystick isn't as sensitive this time around, and it's a bit up and down in terms of performance. You sort of saw that first stage with the probes, how much it chugged. And here, it's not too bad unless you're actually fighting an AT-AT walker. Against the AT-STs, it's not too bad. You can sort of see it chugging now, which is why I try to line up and just use my tow cables. Which you just hit spacebar to launch, and I've just wasted. Come on. Yeah! And I lost the shit at the same time. Oh dear. Alright. I'm out of tow cables. But it's nice that they've got that in there, because it takes on what the original game did and just adds a few extra special features. Like, you'd actually if you're crazy, you can actually fly under the legs. Ah, I'm getting too much damage there. Partial generator damage. Okay, let's turn around. Oh, maybe not. One tow cable left. Okay. There's another ATST. Gotten too much damage on the stage already. And that's one of the things that makes it hard. You've got way less shields compared to Star Wars. Alright. And I find it so hard to just line those up, so I just probably... I didn't waste that tow cable. I swear, I gotta line you up. You're supposed to see... You'd have seen a little red hole on the front of the face. And you're supposed to shoot that, and technically the ATSTs have the same thing. And you're supposed to shoot that, and that destroys them. Which is different from the movie, of course, where the AT-ATs couldn't be blasted, they had to be brought down with the tow cables. Okay. It's sort of my frustration. Yeah, we'll cover about that in our wrap-up. Come on, take them out. Take them out. What? Yeah. One shield, I'm not even going to make it. One thing that's different compared to Star Wars is that you do loop through all the phases together. The phases themselves get harder like a traditional arcade game, but they don't add them like they did in Star Wars. So a wave here is made up by 4 phases. The other thing I love, which is little, which is a simple detail, but it just adds to that arcade experience. If you look in the top left of the screen, you've got the 3 numbers. You've got the score in position 1, the score which is closest to mine, which is position 15, and my current score, which is in green. Ooh, we've got tow cables. Must be. But you've got that high score stuff, you've got the shields, and then you've got the timer bar, and I've just wasted the tow cable, and come on. Come on, out of the way, I don't want to crash. Okay. So you sort of got that score, even though, I'm not even really following the score, because heaven forbid I'm getting slaughtered by Imperial walkers. You know it's there and you can look at it. Okay. Come on, stay on target. It's not really appropriate for this. Alright. No! No shields. No shields. Alright. This is going to make the next couple of stages very hard indeed. Alright. Echo base has fallen. And now we're battling TIE fighters. And the Falcon. This plays a lot like that first stage in Star Wars, and it's actually pretty easy. And we've got the Jedi leader. Alright, there's the last phase with the asteroids. And this is actually pretty easy. All you have to do is just keep pushing them towards corners. So work out what corner they're closest to and fly it in such a way that they'll hit that corner. And you'll do okay. And we're done. So now you can see that where our shield indicator is, we've got Jedi in that little bar. Wave completed. No bonus awarded for easy. Aw. Probe droids, we've got to destroy 8 now. 6. 5. The good news is now is that I don't have to worry about. See if we can shoot the transmission. Yes, shot the transmission. You can shoot them once they launch. You've just got to be really careful of actually blasting them. And I think I'm almost out of Jedi. Alright, and I've got no shields. And it even drew the background. Oops. Okay. 7. What happened? Did it reset? It reset, didn't it? No. So I have to shoot more probe droids. The problem is now. Come on, gotta shoot. Alright, we're doing okay because we've got 2 more probe droids to shoot. Come on, where are you, probe droids? There you are. I did not get my Jedi letter. Okay. Can't do too much crazy flying now, my snow speeder, because I got no shields. Even though it's showing the bar behind them, there's 0 shields, so that's no good. 8 walkers. But I still want to review. I want to review the tape and find the tape. Lol. I want to use footage when I edit and find out what the heck happened with the probe droids, because I swear I took out more than 8, and it's like it reset the counter. That's not fair. That's not playing by the rules, game. Okay, we've got to do this. Oh, 3 walkers left. 2 walkers left. We'll get... Come on. Get that walker. Yeah. And we've got our Jedi. Oh. The shield, one thing I do like with Empire is that the fireballs are a different pattern. So it means you can actually tell what's happening a little better. No. Oh, game over. Well, that screen strobing is not good. Not good at all. Well, I didn't do as well in that. It's a much tougher game. So that is Empire Strikes Back, which is number 2 now in our run through. I think I'm gonna leave it here and we'll cut over the Jedi. And finally, the last part of the trilogy in Return of the Jedi. Now, in the arcades it came out in 1984. Yes, it was the second. And it doesn't use vectors. So it's actually converted by a different team, which was Consult. So let's do this. Get the Death Star to easy. And the experience is significantly different. This time you're... well, let's just say this is a much tougher game than Empire and Star Wars were. The idea here is, this is replicating the speeder bike chase on Endor, and you need to just get to the end without crashing. It's kind of fiddly, as you can sort of see. And that's exactly where my frustrations lie. Because in the arcade game, I had a quick play of it on main. And it's not too hard to actually trigger those. You just ride through and you trigger and it's all good. But here, it's very fiddly by comparison. I think we'll just get it out of the front. I don't enjoy this conversion of it. I don't know. I have to play the arcade game some more, but it's definitely not as much fun. In fact, I think the arcade game's a little more playable. Just because this is like, I don't even use the traps. And there's some of the fun parts where you can actually, get a few bonus points by triggering a trap. I think we're almost at the end of the stage though now. Yeah. Okay, we're at the end of the stage. Woohoo! Droids and some Ewoks. And I don't know if it's just me, but by 1987, 1988, using the ROM font in a game, you see it on the front end, you saw it on that, well, you made it message. It's just so tacky. But meanwhile, we're now taking control of the Falcon. We're now doing the run on Death Star Mark II. And this is basically get to the end, shoot out the reactor and escape. And there's the reactor. Hey, we actually shot it out this time. I always mess that up usually. So now, just gotta keep going. You can see the red creeping in from the bottom. That's the fireball from the reactor going up. We just gotta make it out of the Death Star before that hits us. And of course, yeah! Well, I actually did it. I actually finished that. Impossible. It looks way better in Star Wars. Oh wow, I actually made it. This is about as far as I've legit gotten. Well, if you die during the Death Star escape, it's like, that's a bonus bit. You don't get the bonus for destroying it, and you move on to level 2. So, technically I've made it here, but I've not made it. I haven't actually finished this stage, and that's a new trap type. You can go through the log, except, as we've established by now, the traps don't work so well in this C64 conversion. I've never seen the arcade cabinet of this. I have played it in MAME, and I don't think I've unlocked it in Rebel Strike. Yeah, factoid, for those who don't know, all 3 cabinets are available in Rebel Strike, which is the 3rd Rogue Squadron game on the GameCube. And yeah, that was one of the reasons why I hunted it down, and not just because I actually got through it. And that's actually one of the reasons why damnation. But I've almost got an extra life. That's one of the reasons why I wanted Rogue's Rebel Strike. It's not the best. Rogue Leader is by far a better Rogue Squadron game, but you get the idea. Okay. I'm a noob. So every 30,000 points you get an extra life. Cool. And I'm on my last life now, and I'm going to probably do something silly. So let's see if we can actually beat this. But you can sort of see there's a lot of fiddliness with this game that kind of just doesn't really impress me. Oh, last life, okay. The graphics are kind of average, the music's not as good, and the presentation's a bit janky. And then you have the Commodore ROM font everywhere. Okay. Truth of the matter is, I'm kind of really unimpressed with Return of the Jedi. It's not as much fun as the 2 games. It's a lot more straight. It's a lot blander by comparison. And when you think about it, it just doesn't make much sense. Seeing a bit further, what happens is the second stage has you in the ATST, and you're approaching the shield generator, and you take that out, and that alternates with the space strike against the Imperial fleet, which I kind of like that technique. I don't know how well the 64 is going to handle it, or how well the team are going to handle it. But if I had to rank the 3 games independently, I would say I actually think it's a very hard toss between Star Wars and Empire as which is the best. Star Wars, I think, is the most playable in terms of like the frame rates, and Empire has the more interesting gameplay. This is quite a bit below both of them. A much bigger gap than the movies, I'd say, where, as we know, Empire is on top, and New Hope is second, pretty close in my books, maybe not in others, and Jedi's a little lower. So that's the trilogy. If you're going to see Force Awakens opening weekend or opening day or days, have a blast. I'm looking forward to seeing it as well. Thanks again for watching. I hope you really enjoyed this. Love to hear your thoughts about the other versions. I've seen them on the Amiga. I haven't really played them, and I could have covered the other 8-bit conversions, but I just did not have time. So yeah, love to hear your thoughts on those if you've played them. As always, a thumbs up is always helpful for expanding the reach and helping this come up in the search results. And thanks to all my subscribers as always. And if you haven't, do consider subscribing to check out new videos as they appear. This is going to be the last one for the year. I'll take a short break before coming back with more reviews next year. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you next time.